a little more about Scouting. So, Scouting is an educational, voluntary, and non-profit movement in which young people have the opportunity to develop socially in a way based on values, respect, friendship, fraternity, and love for nature. The aim of the movement is to contribute with the education of young people, teenagers, children, through a system of values based on the Scout laws and the Scout promise. The Scouting promise synthesizes the moral foundation of the Scouting movement. In the promise, the Scout recognizes the presence of some duties that must be fulfilled. The Scout laws says that the Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, kind, courteous, and reverent. It was created in 1907 by the English Lord Robert Baden-Powell. It all started when he organized a camp with 20 young boys in which he taught some concepts of first aid, observation, safety, and guidance. It came to Brazil in 1910 through some sailors and officers of our Navy who brought with them some uniforms and the interest in starting the Scouting movement in Brazil. And now there are more than 40 million Scouts around the world. When the Scouting movement was created, only boys could participate in the movement. But there were some girls trying to join the movement, so that Guidism was created by Baden-Powell himself, but with the help of his sister, Agnes Baden-Powell. Guidism contains the same values of the Scouting movement, but it was completely adapted for girls. The first in 1916, girls could participate in the Scouting movement. And the first woman to join the movement was Vera Berkeley. Yes. She started in the movement leading packs. Now there are more than 15 million girls in the Scouting movement. It is truly in the Scout groups that Scouting takes place. In these Scout groups, Scouts are divided according to their age group so that Scouting can be worked on in all areas of development. These age groups are called branches. For example, cubs branches, they are composed by wolf cubs, and they are young people from 6 to 11 years old, and they form groups called packs. The Scouts branch is composed by Scouts. They are teenagers from 12 to 18 years old. But because of the difference into a teenager of 11 years old and a young people of 18 years old, this age group was divided into a junior and a senior section. And the pioneers, they are young people from 18 years old to 21, and they form groups called clan, where they experience the adults' role. Some Scout symbols. This is the list flower. It represents the scouting movement all over the world. In the second image, we have the scout salutation. So it means that if I see a friend of mine at the street and I do this symbol for him, he will answer me as the same way. And this is the scout handshaking. And as you can see, their little fingers are crossed. The scout uniform is composed by its badges and the scarf. The scarf represents the scout group in which the scout participates. So it means that each scout group has your own design of scarf. The scout specialties, they are personal achievements that represent knowledge of a certain thing. In addition to these, in the image, we have several others. For example, I have cooking specialty, fire prevention, first aid, and many others. And the special badges, they are given to young people who have fulfilled all their days, showing effort and becoming an incentive to all the other scouts. Some curiosities. Neil Armstrong, the first man to set foot on the moon, he was a Boy Scout. He took part on the movement by the age of 14 years old. The book Scouting for Boys by Baden-Powell was one of the 10 best-selling books in the world. It contains the scout technique and the philosophy of the movement. The first scout camp took place on Brownsea Island in 1907. Monthly, scouts contribute with almost 4 million hours of community service. In addition to Neil Armstrong, there are several other famous people who took part on the scouting movement. People like Bill Gates, Madonna, Paul McCartney, Barack Obama, and Walt Disney. The World Organization of the Scout Movement is the biggest youth organization in the world. It counts on more than 54 million members all over the world. Scouting is present in 213 countries, but in each one of them with different teachings. For example, in Portugal, a big part of the Scout movement is directly related to Catholicism. So you must be Catholic and baptized to participate in the Scout movement. In South Africa, Scouts learn to become good citizens, and they are constantly warned about the dangers of HIV. In United States, the Scouting movement is divided into two big organizations, Boy Scouts of America and Girl Scouts of the US. And in Japan, Scouts learn to become economical and honest. The Scouts reunion, they happen weekly, but because of pandemic, these reunions became online with activities completely adapted to do at home with the family. In the Scouting movement, you'll have the biggest biggest movement in the world made of young people. It is a place where you discover that you can do much more than you think. In the scouting movement, I made new friends and I play games with them. I try radical sports, and what catches my eyes in the scouting movement is that you can choose your goals. There's not a pressure like in the school. And this is the best experience I had in the scouting movement when me and some friends of mine, we've been walking for 15 kilometers, talking and admiring the nature. So guys, that was my presentation. Thanks for watching.